Hari Om. Good evening. A very warm welcome to all of you. Please come. Let's pray together. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya sahana vavatu sahano bhunaktu sahaviryan karavavahai tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vedvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Chinmaya Satgurave Namaha. O Lord, the Almighty, the Omniscient, the Omnipotent, the Omnipresent, who also has the divine names Vasavanujaha, Apam Nidhi, to such a magnificent Lord, together we all advanced seekers offer with faith, devotion, and complete surrender our Sastanga pranams to you. We seek your blessings, your grace, your mercy, your love, your compassion, your kindness, your strength, your forgiveness. O Lord, bestow upon all of us the divine qualities of Shraddha, Bhakti, Jnana, Vairagya, Mumukshutva, Prapatti, only and only to understand thy true nature, to have the first-hand experience, aparoksha anubhuti of thy divine self in us. We beseech in you that at the end of our lives we reach thy holy feet. Om Today, by the grace of the Almighty and with the blessings of the Guru Parampara, we are on our Divine Discourse number 328 on this 21st of April 2023, Shobhakrat Nama Samvatsara, Uttarayana, Vasanta Rutu, Vaishakha Masa, Shukla Paksha, Prathama Atitau, Bharani Nakshatra, Priti Yoge, Balavakarane. On this auspicious day of Friday and the auspicious time of the evening, we all take a firm resolve with complete devotion and surrender. O Lord, na ham karta hari karta, hari preranaya, hari prityartha. Whatever is happening to me in my life, whatever comes to me in my life, be it any situation, any circumstance, any incident happening, be it through a person, place, or object, O Lord, I know that it is you who is the benefit, who is the giver of all these conditions in my life. And I know that you want me to come towards you. I know that you don't want me to get lost in this world. So hence, you are creating the right atmosphere, environment for this soul to reach you. I completely trust in thy moves. In total surrender, I beseech in you to keep your blessings, to shower your love on me, and I will accept everything in my life with a smile. With that prasada buddhi, it is nothing but a blessing which has come from you. Our humble salutations to the entire Guru Parampara. Om Tat Sat. Good evening, everybody. A very warm welcome once again to all of you. See, Vedanta is all the time talking about the world is an illusion. Now you are seeing me. Whatever you see around me is all an illusion. My house is getting refurbished. So I am in the guest room, which is completely in a mess. Okay. Now that's the reason we had to postpone the classes, because there were some technical situations. Now you know how this whole thing has been created. Even I was amazed. You just have to take a green cloth. It's known as a green screen. Okay, you place that green screen behind you, and then you go onto the internet, and whatever scenery you like, you paste it on this, and only in the presence of the green screen you can have the scenery behind you. So I compare that green screen to Maya. So on this cloth, this green cloth, Maya, this whole appearance is happening. Can you beat this? How an illusion is created. See, right in front of us we are experiencing an illusion. Whatever you see need not be true. Okay. Now, with this we'll move forward. We are again at a very crucial stage of our understanding with respect to the divinity. Now, what is that one understanding? What Vedanta says, Advaita Vedanta says, is there is nothing apart from that Brahman, from that Paramatma. There is nothing else in this creation. Now who has become all this then? It is he who himself, with the help of Maya, he has created this entire universe. So we will start from where we left last. What we understood in the previous class was, what is consciousness? Now consciousness, the same thing, we call it as Atman, Brahman, Paramatma, Self, Chaitanya. Now that is consciousness. So when we say, going by the steps of the Drg Drushya viveka, the seer and the seen, what we saw, the eyes are the seer and the objects are the seen, and then the mind is the seer, I becomes the seen, and then the mind is also seen, who is the witness. So the ultimate seer is the consciousness in us. So immediately what we think, we get that feeling, yeah, I understand what you are talking about, consciousness. I am conscious right now. I am aware. I am able to grasp everything. I am able to see, I am able to hear, I am able to understand, I am able to think, I am able to go to any part of the world and immediately come back again. So this awareness, this sentiency, we say, oh, I understand. So what are you talking? That consciousness which is this Paramatman, Brahman, is that what I am experiencing right now within ourselves? Is that the witness? Is that the Atman or the Brahman? So Vedanta says, I'm sorry, not so. It's not that consciousness. Then what is this awareness which I'm feeling in my mind right now? So here the Vedanta, it gives you, now this is the gate from bondage to enlightenment. What is that gate? We first knowing what is this consciousness, and then understanding that, okay, the awareness within me is not that consciousness, but that awareness in me is a reflection of that consciousness. Whatever I am feeling now is nothing but the reflection of that pure consciousness. Chitta Chaya. So this reflected consciousness, it is known as Chitta Chaya. Chitta means Chaitanya Shakti, consciousness, Paramatma, Brahman. Chaya means shadow or reflection. How can I understand this? It's like this. If somebody asks us, do we see the sun in the night? We say no, we see the moon, we don't see the sun. But in a way, in one sense, if you really understand, we are seeing the sun when we are seeing the moon reflecting its light. Because the moon is an insentient object. It does not have its own light. So the sunlight which falls on the moon, and that moon is reflecting the light of the sun as moonlight. So that moonlight is like the reflected consciousness. So the moon, our mind. Mind means body also. The sun, Chaitanya Shakti. Sunlight falling on the moon, which is this body and mind, is reflecting, which is that moonlight, as the reflected consciousness within us. And in the previous verse, the author mentioned to us that our mind is divided into two parts. Now we are exactly getting from where this Jeevatma is born. We in mind, we can divide into two parts. One is the Ahankara and the rest is Antakarana. Otherwise, as I mentioned to you, normally in the mind we have got four divisions, which is the manaha, buddhi, chitta, ahankara. So the fourth one, ahankara, the author uses it as ahankara, and the rest three he all combines it and it puts it in one frame known as anthakarana, the inner instruments. And now this consciousness, when it got reflected on the mind, so this reflected consciousness, understand this carefully, and the ego in our mind, ahankara, they become united together, which is an unholy union. This is where the Jeevatma is formed. I repeat, consciousness reflecting on the mind, it becomes a reflected consciousness, and there is ahankara also over there. So ahankara gets associated with this reflected consciousness, and this unholy union becomes the Jeevatma. Why? Kartrutva bhava. I am doing, I am listening. What is the job of ahankara? To put that I on everything, whatever you do. If you think, it says I am thinking. If you see, it says I am seeing. If you hear, it says I am hearing, I am eating, I am giving, I am taking, I am understanding, I am frustrated, I am happy, I am sad. Everywhere the job of this ahankara is to only and only say that he or she is the doer of everything. So here the author gives us a beautiful example. This is shloka number 7. We'll understand now. Till last we had done 6, so now we understand the shlok number 7. Chaya ahankarayoho aikyam tapta ayapindavat matam tat ahankara tadatmyat deha chetanatam agat. Now another word for this reflected consciousness is chetana. So now this reflected consciousness and the ahankara, the moment that reflected consciousness comes onto the mind, ahankara joins with that, and he says it becomes like a, visualize a ball of iron. He gives this example of a ball of iron, a nice round ball of iron. When it is heated in a blast furnace in a factory, red hot, you have that red hot fire, and in that fire a black, dark, round ball of iron is heated. Then what do you see? You see the ball of iron and the fire have mixed together. And what they do? They have transferred their properties to each other. Like for example, the iron ball is round. Fire has got no shape. It just blazes like this. And now you see, iron ball is round, fire has got no shape. Iron ball is extremely heavy, fire is very light, and iron ball is black, but fire is dazzling yellow, dazzling saffron red. Now you see that these two together, you see a round orange color ball. So how well they have combined together. In the same way, this reflected consciousness and the ego, they seem to be one and the same. You cannot divide actually. You are seeing a red hot iron, blazing iron ball, that's it. There is no black ball, there is no round. It has got the shape of round, it has got also the wings of no shape. So when this ego becomes identified, and because of that mind, now it is reflecting on the mind, we suddenly become conscious. And As we become conscious, we all have our nervous system, our sensory systems, that whole thing immediately it is lit up. We become consciousness, and because of that, along with the nervous system, the entire muscular, the skeletal, the whole body becomes conscious. So this is where the unholy union of the reflected, of the consciousness reflected on the mind, becoming the reflected consciousness chit chaya, associated with the mind and subsequently with the body. This is where, from where onwards, the jiva bhava starts in an individual. Clear? Now, what is our aim? Okay, now we understood where the jiva bhava started, fine. But our point is, we want to end the jiva bhava here. We don't want to die with this jiva bhava, because if you die with the jiva bhava, then again you will come with another jiva, another body. God knows what body you will get, what life you will get, and you again don't know what kind of a situation you will be into. So now when you have got the caliber and the eligibility to get liberated, now this jiva, we all advanced seekers, we as a jiva, now we are thinking, let me be in this knowledge, let me get this clear. I know where it started, and now I want to learn how to end it. This is going to be our aim. So our understanding is very clear. We know for a fact that without life we are all dead. Even though we know that we are going to be dead without that life in us, but we don't know what is the secret behind that. How we are stuck in this jiva bhava. Okay, when you know that without life you are going to be dead, meaning, then why are you saying that you are the doer of everything? Even why do you also say that I am the sufferer? The Lord says, you are not this. There is no you at all, first of all. And when that is the case, disassociate yourself from the body. See, his understanding is very clear. You have a desire. Okay. If you die with any sort of a desire, he is so kind, he is so benevolent, he is so understanding. He says, okay Jiva, as per your prarabdha, you have so much of punya, you so much of papa. Okay, the computation will be done by the right authority, and you will get the next body, you will get the next life, meaning the parents, whomever you are blessed with, and along with that, the desires with which you will have moved forward in life, they will further be carried over to the next life. So as a sadhak, we have to understand one thing clearly, that we should not have any desires. Or understand that the Paramatma is operating through this body and mind. How did I become a Jeevatma? Because I have added that Ahankara to this reflected consciousness. Now it's going to be interesting. The author clearly divides where we are exactly stuck. How that knot, we are all in a knot. He tells us how to untie and detach. So having understood that reflected consciousness is in me as Chidabhasa, first thing we get this is also known as Chit Chaya or Chidabhasa. Okay. Now with this Chidabhasa, how am I working? How am I living in my life? My mind is lit up first. And when my mind is lit up, this consciousness is transferred to the entire sensory system. So my eyes are working, my ears are working, my tongue is working, my power of speech is there, my skin is able to sense perceptions, my ears are able to hear. So with all this, my entire body and mind is alive and conscious now. It's with this consciousness, my entire nervous system, everything is operating. So he says here, dehas chetanata, he says. So finally the body feels that consciousness strongly within itself. And the examples which they give is, now to go a little more detail into this. Okay, then why is it that only I am feeling this consciousness? Why is it a stone is not feeling conscious? You say that Chaitanya consciousness is there in every atom of the creation. So, where there is a mind, only there is a reflected consciousness. Meaning the consciousness reflects only on a mind. And only where there is a mind, you have that awareness, which is nothing but the Chit Chaya. And how do we give an example? Sun, if sun is the Chaitanya Shakti, like say you see, reflecting mediums, like you see the trees, you see the reflection on the roads, where the mind is very clear, like say a pot of water with crystal clear water, you will see an image of the sun, but in dirty water you will not even see a reflection. In a tiny drop of clean water in the mist in the morning, in the dew, you are able to see the reflection of the sun. So in this way, this sun, as it reflects on surfaces. Now what are surfaces? Mind is the surface. So we are all blessed to have that mind, and with that mind a reflection is formed, and we are all living in this world as a Jeevatma, only and only because the Ahankara, which is created by Maya, it is saying I am the doer of everything. So the Lord says, if you are the doer of everything, okay, enjoy. For all the good you have done, it will come to you as punya, and punya will come back to you in your life as good things, which will give you joy and happiness. And if you have done wrong things, it will come to you as papa, which will come to you as suffering, anxiety, stress, agitation. That's all. So understand this, he says very clearly. So now we move to the next point, which the Lord, he now goes into much more, he gives us much more clarity. So now so far what have we understood? Chaitanya Shakti, mind is a it has a strong bright reflection media. So the Chaitanya Shakti falls on the reflection media, and along with that immediately the Ahankara, which is inbuilt, it gets mixed up with this Jiva, and from there the Jiva Bhava starts. Okay, now the Lord in the next shloka, he says, Ahankarasya tadatmyam chichaya deha sakshibhihi kramat sahajam karmajam bhranti janyam cha trividham bhavati. Kramat. Now what is the meaning of this? Remember, we had divided the mind into two parts. One is the Ahankara and the next one is Antakarana. So now he takes up the ego, because that is the one which has caused the unholy union, right? So he takes up the ego, and now he explains to us. Before that, let's just get the hang of the primary understanding of this text. The first stage, eyes are the seer and various forms are the seen. Then we went to the next level where eyes became the seen and the mind became the seer. Now if I ask you a question, you are seeing me on your screen. With what are you seeing? With your eyes, obviously. Who is the seer? Your eyes are the seer. And who is the seen? Your mobile or laptop or TV is where you are seeing me. That is the seen. Now for this, do you understand this as theory or do you understand as real? Just ask yourself. You will say, what is there? It's very clear to me. My eyes are seeing. If I close my eyes, I can't see. So my eyes are seeing, and you are on the screen, so you are the seen. My eyes are the seer. Okay. Now, one step back. Your eyes become the seen and the mind becomes the seer. How? you know that your eyes are paining, little irritating, or they're becoming blur, or they're becoming watery, or you feel freshness in your eyes, or you feel dullness in your eyes. Now who is saying that? Ask yourself, am I seeing anything? Am I seeing my eyes are tired? Am I feeling my eyes are fresh? They're looking bright and fine? That means the mind is the seer and your eyes are the seen. Now this also, you need any great philosophy, theory, understanding? Ask yourself. Okay? So far so good. Now the crucial part comes, the third stage. The mind itself, which tells you, I am not able to understand this. Or it says, my God, I am getting it, it's so interesting. Oh, I am so fortunate to get this knowledge. The mind is telling you this. And when suddenly the mind says, Arey, last time they said something, I forgot. What did they say? And then in the meantime, somebody had told you something good, you suddenly get a good feeling. That person had praised you, or that person had thanked you. You get that good feeling. Or if somebody had insulted you, you immediately get a grudgeful feeling or a discomfort feeling. Now, which means your mind became the scene, and there is somebody who is watching your mind. So understand, where are we coming from? There is something called as consciousness which fell on the mind, and it reflected the Chitta Chaya, reflected consciousness in the entire mind, senses and body. Right? So you got to know now that there is something else which is other than the mind, which is unchanging, and the mind is constantly changing. So this consciousness, witness, which is illumining the mind, is it real or a theory? Now you have to ask yourself a question. And remember, waking, dream, deep sleep, these are all the states of the mind. There is something which is witnessing or watching all the three states in your mind on a daily basis. You know that you had dreams. Now when you are awake, you know all that what is happening in your mind. But when you go into deep sleep, where your mind also is shut down, you still know that you slept well in a deep sleep. Which means there is somebody who is watching your mind also. Now so far you know what happens. We can all easily come up to the mind stage. But from the mind going to the next level, it needs a little more effort. Please understand, this is not that every Tom, Dick and Harry can get it. You have to only have that Shraddha, that commitment. Not once. When I was studying, I have listened to certain subjects more than 100 times. Because it is there in your mind and again it slips off. That is what Maya plays on you. You have to keep constantly reminding yourself, and listening, reminding, contemplating, meditating, nididhyasana. As you keep doing, that is the reason they call it as deep contemplation, is allow it to soak inside. So for that you need that high level of commitment. Okay, listening once, twice is fine, but now at this stage, when you say, okay, you have told me, I've heard it and I understood it. Or probably if I listen to it again and again, I may understand more, you may say. But, I'm not feeling, whatever you are saying is, you may get that feeling that it is not appearing real to me. The I and the objects are real. Mind and the I am finding it real and convincing. But somebody witnessing my mind, I am not able to understand. Why? I too had the same doubt. Because you have become that mind. You are so strongly associated with the mind that you are not able to detach yourself from the mind. if only we could say with conviction and with that honesty and with that truthfulness that I am the observer of my mind. When you get this conviction, then you have been enlightened. As clearly as we say that I am this so and so person, I am this body, I am this mind, these are my possessions, this is my family, this, as clearly as you say I am all this, the moment we can clearly say that all this is an illusion, anytime it can go. There is one and only one factor, which is that supreme consciousness, that Chaitanya Shakti, that pure consciousness, that alone is the truth. Who are you? That consciousness, because that is the only truth. If you can put this thought in your mind, every time keep telling your mind, instead of saying I am that pure consciousness, you just say that there is the only truth in this entire existence or creation is that pure consciousness, and this jiva as me is nothing but an illusion. And you know what is the process, reflected consciousness and aham bhava getting entangled, iron and fire, iron ball and fire, all this we know. So now the whole purpose, what is our purpose now? We have to clear up this confusion. Why am I still getting stuck in this body and mind? What do I need to do? When I am that infinite consciousness, means the Paramatma shining on this mind and the Ahankara of this mind getting associated with the Paramatma. Now the Paramatma himself, he became the Jeevatma. Untie it. So when this Jeevatma realizes that this aham bhava is only a wrong understanding in me, there is nothing true other than the Paramatma, that is the entire, that Jeevatma again goes back to the state of Paramatma. As clearly as we see an object, in the same way we should be able to see this entire distinction in our life. We are not able to recognize this because the entangle between aham bhava and this reflected consciousness, chidabhasa, is so strong. We are identified with that ego and we think we are none other than that ego. I am the doer of everything. But we fail to understand that we are that witness consciousness. We only and only think we are this ego. Now this ego shining in the light of that reflected consciousness, this is the true villain which we need to catch hold and put him behind bars or even kill him. This is the purpose. So now the author also gives us another indication to show how this ego is also an object. You are saying you are an ego, ahankara, you know very well. So now he says, if you say, let us say you have now understood, okay, after all this knowledge, understanding, mind is different, and you are telling me, listen, Shravana, listen, that mind is the scene and there is somebody who is watching the mind and it knows all that is going in the mind, so that is the pure witness. So what is your true nature? I am not this mind, I am that person who is watching this mind. Okay, you told me this, Shravana, I heard it. Manana, I thought about it. You have been telling this right from the beginning in some way or the other. I have thought about it, and now you know that the mind is different and I am somebody who is watching the mind. I am constantly thinking about it. Okay, that nididhyasana stage where I have gone into deep meditation on this aspect is still happening. Okay, now ask yourself a question. Do you experience that I in yourself as of now? What is the meaning of that? I am peaceful. I am enjoying this. I am am getting bored. Nothing is entering my mind. It's all going above my mind. What is this I am listening to? Now you say, I am understanding. I am getting bored. I am thrilled to get this. I am fortunate to get this. And after this, I'll do this, I'll do that. Now, are you seeing that I within yourself? That means you are able to see the I, that ego, and which whatever is seen is an object. So the ego becomes an object. And who is the seer of that ego? That pure consciousness. That which is aware is consciousness. Anything which is aware is consciousness, and anything that consciousness is aware of is an object. To explain it further, now within you, you are aware of the sound. Whatever I am talking, even if you close your eyes, your ears are able to listen to it. So that awareness. Now I know that that is a Chidabhasa, okay, it's not consciousness. Earlier, so far I thought that awareness itself is Chaitanya Shakti. Now I have got the knowledge that it is the reflected consciousness. So where do I look up? Even if I am seeing the moon, I know that it is the light of the moon is nothing but it is coming from the sun. Although a sun is not visible to me, I know that it is the sun which is giving the light to the moon. In the same way, this awareness in me which I am experiencing right now, with this awareness I am able to see that ego in me again and again is saying, how dare that fellow said that to me, I am going to teach him or her a lesson. Now who is saying this? The ego in us is saying this. So which means you are able to see that ego in you. When somebody praises you, you say, I am happy. When somebody tells something wrong about you, you say, you feel sad, I am sad. Which means you are able to see your ego. Even ego also is an object. This I meaning not this vertical, the physical I, it is that vertical I. That Ahankara is an object within us. So with this, as we have got identified with this ego, and we are the ego and the rest of it flows immediately, the ego identified with the mind, this ego identified with the body, and then we thinking we are the body and mind. This whole mechanism is going on within us. We are very clear about it now. Now, how can Vedanta help us to cut this connection between me, the true self, and this Ahankara? Let the Ahankara keep working. Let my mind keep working. Let my senses keep working. Let my whole body, mind, senses, nervous system, the entire conglomerate keep working. But I want to cut my association with this Ahankara. So I want to only and only understand that I am not this body, I am not this mind, and this whole strategy or this whole aim and goal of Vedanta is to slice the connection, cut the apparent connection between you and me, and which is our true nature is that witness and self and the ego. See, in the Atma Shatakam, so clearly Shankaracharya says, Mano buddhya hankar chittani naham. Manaha buddhi chitta ahankara naham. I am not that. Nacha shrotra jikhve nacha ghrana netre. I am not the listener. I am not the one who is tasting. I am not the one who is seeing. So he says, Nacha shrotra grahana netre. And he finally says, my true self is Chidananda Rupaha Shivoham Shivoham. My true nature is that pure consciousness. Again and again, Lord Shankaracharya says, I am not the ego. So now, just because of that association, that long association of not, you say, no, somebody I know for last 30 years. 30 years I know this person, sir. You say that. Here what, 30 years, 30 crore years, 30 crore years, you are associated with this ego. And so because we have that strong association, now we have to, it's very difficult for us to cut this. So now in the next verse, verse number 8, the connection between the ego and these three things where the connection is wrong. Now the the author tells us how to go about this. Let's understand this. Now, what are the three connections? First we'll get to that and then we'll understand the verse. One is consciousness, that is the pure consciousness, which is the real you or real I, whatever it is. Now, the other one is the reflected consciousness. Sun, reflected consciousness is like the moonlight. Now where it is getting reflected? In the mind. And now this reflected consciousness, which we are all feeling right now, this consciousness and that reflected consciousness, which is the ego, is connected. So there is a reflected consciousness. Now two things have come in place, and the third one is the ahankara not only be connected to the reflected consciousness, it is also connected to the body. So this ego is connected with three things. One is the reflected consciousness, second is it is connected with the body, and the third is it is connected with the pure consciousness. Now it has already been on these lines. Now how do I snap the wrong connections and stick to the right connection? So here he talks, what is the strength of these connections? So he says, Ahankarasya tadatmyam chichaya deha sakshibhihi kramat sahajam karmajam bhrantijanyam cha trividam bhavati, he says. So this ego, this identification of the ego with the reflected consciousness, with the body and the pure consciousness are of three kinds. And what are those three kinds? Sahajam, Karmajam, Brahantijam. Trividam means three. What are these three? Now understand this carefully. The connection between this ego, the I, and the reflected consciousness is sahajam, natural. It's very natural. How? There's a mirror in front of you. Okay. Now you go and stand in front of the mirror. You will see a reflection of yourself in the mirror. You just come aside. There is no reflection. So here he compares the mirror to ego, and he compares the person to that consciousness, and he says, whenever there is consciousness and there is a mirror which is the mind, the reflection is a very natural process. So the face is the original consciousness, the person who is standing in front of the mirror, and the mirror is the ego. So what happens when you put a mirror in front of a face? Immediately there is a reflected face. So if you understand what kind of a relation they say, it is a natural relationship. What can you do about that? As far as you go and stand in front of a mirror, the face is seen. If there is no mirror, then nothing is seen. So when a mirror and when a face come against each other, the reflection, as the reflection is very normal, in the same way the ahankara, which is the mind, and the pure consciousness which is the face that by a natural process we see the reflection happening. So now what do you see in your reflected face? The original face is not seen. When you see, can you see your original face in the reflected face? No, it is only a reflected face because it is a reflection. So reflection, the mind functions in that way. The ego also functions in that way. It just reflects that consciousness. So that awareness that we feel right now is like that reflected face. Get this example very well in your mind. This awareness in what we are seeing now is not your true self. It is like the face in the mirror. As far as the face, original face, is in front of the mirror, meaning as far as the Chaitanya Shakti is shining upon you, you will be feeling that Aham Bhava in you. The moment that Chaitanya Shakti moves away from you, you will be dead. So that's the reflected consciousness we experience. We do not see ourselves as the original self. Okay, this is the first one. Sahajam, natural. In front of a mirror a face comes, reflection will be there. Now, second one. What is the second connection? The second connection between the Ahankara and the body. He says Karmajam. Karmajam means it is born out of karma. How did we get this body? Why does every different person get different bodies? Different bodies means different minds, different capacities, different IQs, different talents. How do we get that? It is born out of karma. Till your prarabdha karma is there, you are going to be on this planet. You may be in trouble, you may be also troubling others, but you will continue to be there because you are, as per karma, this whole body is functioning. And as this body is there, so the ego is associated with this body. It cannot leave. You tell your ego, now you go away. It will not go. As far as, because we all are in ignorance. So now, till the time this body is there, this ego is associated with this body. So it is based on our past karma and it is known as karmajam. When will it go? When the body dies. Body stays back, buried, cremated, burnt, whatever it is. And the Sukshma Sharira, now that is the mind now. Where is the Ahankara? It is in the mind. Now that travels and it gets another body, and the moment it enters in that body, it says, I am this body. Now it could be anything. It could be a pigeon, it could be a donkey, it could be a horse, a pig, or a human, whatever it is. The moment it enters that body, it has forgotten its past body, and of course the body is also burnt here. It immediately says, I am this body. So how long will this ego function with the body? Karmacham. Till the time you have this ego, you have this karma, the body is not going to die till then. It has to experience all that body had to experience. So till the time that ego will be there. Now, okay, we are really not interested. Okay, fine. We know the reflected consciousness, the mirror and the face, you said, beautiful example. It is sahajam, natural. Okay, understood. Second is, you are now telling that, okay, as per my prarabdha, till this body, mind is the body is there, this ahankara will be there. It is karmajam, based on my karma. That also is fine. Baba, what I want to get knowledge is, what is the association of this ahankara with that pure consciousness? I want to know that. That is what is we are interested in. So now here the author gives an absolutely befitting and stunning reply. He says, Bhranti Janyam. What is the meaning? Illusion. There is no connection at all between you and the ego. See? My God. You mean to say that ego has only connection with the body because of the reflected consciousness. Otherwise, with the pure consciousness, it has got no connection. It is only an error. It is just Bhranti. Now the soul is on the verge of enlightenment. He has heard it now. We have all heard it. Now we are trying to understand it. We now know the entire way. As I explained to you in the beginning of the class, how is that you are able to see this beautiful scenery behind you? How is you are able to see? It's all false, I told you. That one green cloth, Maya, made this fantastic appearance possible. What did I do? I just bought a green cloth and placed it behind me. And on that this beautiful picture is imposed. So now I understand pure consciousness, the only supreme truth in this world, in this entire creation. And in that I am seeing there is a mind, and on that mind there is a reflection. Okay? So having seen this reflection, now I am going to a stage where Ahankara, which I know is the cause where the Jeevatma has come into existence, is that reflected consciousness, and the Ahankara getting together has created this new entity known as this Jeevatma. And what's his association with the reflected consciousness? Sahajam. As far as there is a mirror and a face, the reflection is going to be there. That is Sahajam. I understood that. And what is its association with the body? As far as the Ahankara and the body? Karmajam. Till the end of this karma, it with this particular Ahankara will be there with this body. You can't get rid of it. And now I understand that the relationship of this Ahankara with the consciousness is Bhranti Janyam, meaning there is no relationship. It's only an illusion. So here I think this can be better explained with a story. Once a person like us who wanted to somehow got inquisitive on this Vedanta knowledge and wanted to pursue this Vedantic study to a great level. So when he goes, he meets up with a guru. Now that guru, the higher you go in the mountains, the higher is the stature of the guru, because it's very difficult to stay in those Himalayan mountains. As you go higher and higher, it's very cold and there is no population and life itself becomes difficult. So he tries to go as far as possible, higher and higher, and finally he meets a guru there, and he goes and tells him, offers his pranam, and he says, I want to seek knowledge from you. So immediately, no guru will start giving the knowledge. So he says, first I need to see your commitment and cleanse your heart. So they put you on to several duties in the place wherever they are staying. If it is a small ashram, they say take care of the duties of the ashram. It could be right from cleaning the ashram, cleaning the temple in the ashram, bringing flowers for the altar, or helping in the kitchen, all sorts of duties. Okay, now this person started doing his duties, and whatever was told by his guru, he started following that. 1 week passed, 1 month passed, 6 months passed. Now the guru is not telling him anything. So then finally the student goes and tells the guru, I have come from so far and with so much of anticipation that I learned something from you, but I have not heard a word from you so far as far as this divine knowledge is concerned. Please excuse me, I can't stay like this for long. So now the guru felt that okay, he may lose a shishya, and he tells him, wait, don't get irritated. Come tomorrow morning at the stroke of the first rays of the sun, come and see me. So this guru was staying in a cave. So this shishya, much more than the normal time, is to get up at say 4:35. He gets up at 3:30. He's anxious about Now he's going to get the knowledge. He gets up, bathes in that cold Ganga water, and he is chanting, meditating, looking forward for the first ray of the sun. Now then he goes and is standing in front of the cave. There, as the first ray of the sun hits the cave, in that bright morning, the Guru is coming out of the cave. And the Guru coming out of the cave, this Shishya looks at the Guru, he is thrilled to see him. He sees that divine light in his face. But in the meantime, he is surprised. This Guru goes and catches hold of a huge oak tree which is next to the cave. And this Guru starts shouting, "Give me freedom, give me freedom, I am caught over this, at this tree." Now, suddenly the Shishya is at a distance. He says, "Swamiji, what are you saying? Just let go your hands of the tree." Swamiji is saying, give me freedom, I am stuck to this tree." The Shishya says, let go. And then the Swamiji says, precisely. What you said is absolutely right. Precisely, let go. So what the tree which we are all holding on to is this body, mind, possessions, family, all this. We have considered that apart from this there is nothing else. That is that Bhranti in which we are living. So we are holding on to this ego. This is my husband, this is my wife, this is my child, this is my grandchild, this is my house, this is my place, this is my relative, this is my friend, this is my car, this is my everything, this my. We are holding on to this ego. And how can you get this snapping? How can you do that? Just let go. Just say there is nothing of mine over here. Snap the ego and the reflected consciousness. Know that that one above which is shining on this mind, which is created the reflected consciousness, and the other part of the mind which is the Ahankara, which has merged unholy union with the reflected consciousness, has become the Jeevatma. Untie that. Let go the tree. Give up your ego and say everything is that God and God alone. That's it. Understand that everything is an instrument. The ego is an instrument. The memory is an instrument. The intellect also is an instrument in the mind. Everything is nothing but Bhranti Janyam, is an illusion. So in verse number 9 he further now talks about how do we cut this. Before this I have told you many interesting things. So now we'll listen from the author what he has to say in the next session. So whether we can conduct it on Tuesday or some other day, I'll let you know. I have some situations which are not conducive, but let me see how I can complete the session. So please try to listen and understand this, because this is the divine most knowledge. And you mean to say we have to constantly keep thinking about this? Yes. How long? Till it is concretized in your mind. Like, as you know, you put a slab on the roof. They said 21 days you need to pour water on that till it becomes hard. So in the same way, till that feeling comes in your mind that I am not this ego, and I know what is reflected consciousness, I know how this ego and the reflected consciousness have both become Ahankara. I am not these two. My true nature is that satchidananda, Paramatma, Atma. That is my true nature, the witness. So any point of time, if you just ask yourself, who am I? Immediately you should be able to look up and feel that you are nothing but that Chaitanya Shakti. You are not this Chidabhasa or the Jeevatma or the Ahankara. So In between, if you fail, then which means this knowledge has not entered your mind deeply. Keep saying this to yourself. But the moment you have understood, when you asked yourself a question, with conviction you got an answer, you no more looked upon yourself as I am this person, so and so person, with your usual identity, but immediately you connected to that consciousness. That means now this knowledge has been firm in you, and from that time onwards you don't have to do anything else. It's already firm in you. Even if you don't want, you cannot escape. You're already liberated. That is the beauty of this. And in Gita, the Lord says about this. I'll tell you when it comes to. He openly says in the same chapter, he says, what if somebody has got realized, then thereafter what happens? Can he forget it? So in that he gives an answer. So there is nothing to forget. You just keep asking yourself, are you feeling anxious? Are you feeling sad? Are you feeling over-thrilled? Are you feeling joyous? That means you are in Ahankara, the Jiva Bhava. You are not able to, when you say who am I, you are not relating to yourself to the usual person you were earlier saying, but immediately you think of that consciousness. That means you have settled down and you are in that Paramatma Shakti. Now that Jiva Bhava is already gone from you, and thereafter now an actor, when he is acting, he is, let's say, a billionaire actor. Now he is doing the role of a beggar. When he is doing the role of a beggar, does he have to think, I am that billionaire, I am that billionaire? Because his condition is pathetic. He is getting no food, he is getting no water, everybody is kicking him out, no shelter. In that scenario, does he have to remember himself that I am not this role what I am playing, I am that actor? No. In fact, if he keeps remembering, he will not be able to do his role very well. So, concretize this knowledge in your mind. Till that time, do that extensive Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi, Prajnanam Brahma, Ayamatma Brahma. Keep chanting this to yourself again and again. And I told you the two most important times are 5 minutes before you go to sleep and 5 minutes immediately after you get up. And if you are lucky enough to get up in the Brahma Muhurat, which could be any time between after 3:30 to 5:30, excellent time. Keep saying this to yourself. It will get concretized, and thereafter you have to do nothing. It will just go on its own. So we are getting this knowledge. We have all come so far. We just now need to, it has come to our hand. Put it in your mouth and taste it, enjoy it, and swallow it. That's it. Then you are done. After that you can't remove it. You say no, I don't want, I want to remove it. You can't remove it. This knowledge is also like that. Once you have got this, you are liberated. That's it. There is no question of forgetting. There is no return policy over here. We have this return back policy, right? 1 week, 15 days, 1 month. Each and every chain store has got a policy. There is no return policy system here. Once you have got this knowledge, it is settled in your mind, you are liberated. That's it. And till how long your body is going to be there? Karmajam. Till your karma is there, this body will be there, this ego will be there. Let it function. Now you are a witness of that body. You are a witness of that mind. You are a witness of that ego. You are just witnessing that person. Just like somebody else is witnessing you, you yourself are witnessing this person. Now this person, if he has to experience luxury in life, he'll experience luxury. If he has to experience misery in life, he'll experience misery in life. If that person has to experience name, fame, he will experience that. You are not that. Now you have crossed that situation. Be in that knowledge and be completely established in the Paramatma. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Hari Om. Idam Namam. Oh. Now we will take up two divine names. Okay. Verse 35, 322 and 323. Let's read the shlok first. अच्युत प्रतित प्राणः प्राणदो वासवानुजः अपां निधिरधिष्ठानमप्रमत्त प्रतिष्ठितः. Vasavanujaha, the brother of Indra. This name has been acquired by Lord Vishnu because of his incarnation as the adorable dwarf Vamana. At that time, the Lord had to take birth in the womb of Aditi and manifest as the younger brother of Indra. In the subjective science of Vedanta, the king of the gods, Indra, is the lord of the sense organs, and so he is also the mind. The spiritual urge that dawns in us as a younger brother of the mind ultimately comes to measure away and win over the three worlds of waking, dream, and deep sleep, and thus comes to conquer over the entire kingdom of Indra in one more sense than one. 323. Apam Nidhi, treasure of waters, meaning the ocean. The very glory and might of the oceans are all but a reflection of Sri Narayana's own glory divine. In the Gita, Bhagavan himself says, among the collections of waters, I am the ocean. Matsyan, he says, Sarasamasmi Sagaraha, meaning among the oceans, among the collections of waters, I am the ocean. So in this way to a Lord who is Apam Nidhi and Vasavanujaha, we offer our humble salutations and seek his grace, mercy, and blessings. Now let's chant the Dhanvantari mantra thrice. ॐ नमो भगवते महासुदर्शनाय वासुदेवाय धन्वन्तरये अमृतकलशास्ताय सर्वभयविनाशाय सर्वरोगनिवारणाय त्रैलोक्यपतये त्रैलोक्यनिधये श्री महाविष्णुस्वरूप श्री धन्वन्तरी स्वरूप श्री 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 औषधचक्र नारायणाय स्वाहा। ॐ नमो भगवते महासुदर्शनाय वासुदेवाय धन्वन्तरये अमृतकलशहस्ताय सर्वभयविनाशाय सर्वरोगनिवारणाय त्रैलोक्यपतये त्रैलोक्यनिधये श्री महाविष्णुस्वरूप श्री धन्वन्तरी स्वरूप श्री 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 औषधचक्र नारायणाय स्वाहा। ॐ नमो भगवते महासुदर्शनाय वासुदेवाय धन्वन्तरये अमृतकलशहस्ताय सर्वभयविनाशाय सर्वरोगनिवारणाय त्रैलोक्यपतये त्रैलोक्यनिधये श्रीमहाविष्णुस्वरूप श्रीधन्वन्तरी स्वरूप श्री 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 औषधचक्र नारायणाय स्वाहा. Our humble salutations to Lord Dhanvantari. May he bless us to realize with this divine knowledge while we are in the right frame of mind and health. Om Tat Sat. Now let's do the Sakshātkara Siddhi Yoga Dhyana. Please relax yourself. Relax your body. If you need to get up and take a few steps and sit back again, please do that. Head, neck and spine in a straight line. Sit comfortably. Let's take a few deep breaths. As deep as you can. Inhale and exhale as deep as you can. Now, Antarika Drushyana Vikalpa Samadhi. Keep observing the thoughts in your mind. Just observe the thoughts in your mind. Without being judgmental, observe the thoughts. And when you don't think about the thoughts, observe the thoughts slowly and gradually moving away, because it did not pay any heed to the thoughts. You are just a witness to the thoughts, completely detached. Unconcerned about the thoughts. Now slowly become aware of your breath. Observe the breath going in your nostrils and coming out of your nostrils. Again, for some time, observe the thoughts in your mind. You will realize that there is a drastic reduction in the number of thoughts. Come back to observing your breath again. Become aware of yourself, this body, this mind, where you are seated. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Please rub your palm. Place them on your eyes. Gently and lovingly open your eyes. Together न हम करता हरि प्रेरणाय इत्यर्थम्। श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु। इदं न मम। Om Tat Sat. We offer today's Gita Jnana Yajna at the lotus feet of the Lord. And we firmly believe that only and only due to His grace we are able to be established in this knowledge despite all the attractions of the world. We seek your mercy, your grace, your blessings, O Lord. Our humble salutations to the entire Guru Parampara. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Idam Nam. Om Tat Sat.